What's up, guys? It's Lord Both here for another video, and this is news that I think kinda got buried last week. But the sports game Rematch has sold massive amounts of copies. This comes to us from Insider Gaming, entitled Rematch sells 1 million copies in just 5 days. Slow Clap has reached an incredible milestone with Rematch, selling over 1 million copies in just 5 days. Rematch has been making waves before it even launched, reaching some surprising Steam player numbers before the game even launched. Weird way to phrase that sentence. On launch day, the game brought in 1 million unique players within the first 24 hours. Now they have achieved an even higher milestone, selling 1 million units in just 5 days. Now, if you don't know what Rematch actually is, it is a football or soccer game that is a multiplayer title. Players control only one character instead of an entire team, and their performance is based on their skill. The game features a third-person camera and some iconic football moves and non-stop multiplayer action. So basically, soccer Fortnite, which I think you can have an audience for, especially in today's day and age with sports games, specifically soccer games, football games in general, because the top tier of soccer games right now are not good. And by that I mean FIFA, or sorry, EAFC, whatever the hell year it is, because they are still the top dogs when it comes to soccer games, sports games in general, but soccer games specifically, even though there have been some challengers that are on the come up, I think. But EA is still churning out their soccer games every year. That said, as you can see here from the title, I think people are getting tired of the general slop that is coming out of EA in terms of their FIFA or FC content. This comes to us from the Radio Times, and all the information in it is actually provided by gamesindustry.biz, but it is entitled FC 25 Sales Numbers. Is it selling well? And I will say that this article does come to us from February of 2025, so it's a bit old, but I don't think the numbers have massively changed since then. I mean, the game has gone on Xbox Game Pass for free, which is how I have played it, and I would recommend if anybody's even thinking of trying this thing out, play it for free on Game Pass. Do not buy this thing, because it honestly is terrible. EAFC 25 is the worst soccer game I have ever played. And I've played a lot of FIFAs. I think going back to FIFA like 13 or 14 was the first ones I was playing, way back in my high school days. And I can honestly say those are better, more solid games than what we're getting right now. I don't know if EA also lost the rights to produce whatever UI or player mechanics they had when they lost the rights to the FIFA name as well, but it sure feels like that, because every upgrade that this thing has had from a mechanic standpoint and a UI standpoint has made the game a worse experience. The menus are terrible, like Discovery Plus streaming app menu levels of bad. And for the niche people who are interested both in this content and also have Discovery Plus as one of their streaming networks, you know what I'm talking about. The player movement and mechanics are all off as well. Everything seems to be not far enough to where you think they want it, or worse off than where it used to be. It just does not feel good, does not look good, does not play well. And all this seems to be showing in their sales figures as well, because according to gamesindustry.biz here again, FC25 sales are 4.6% lower than those of the launch sales of FC24 last year. Regarding the overall sales numbers, EA CEO and Mr. Games need more shared worlds and multiplayer functions to actually be profitable. Andrew Wilson says top of funnel acquisition and a lapse of engagement later in the quarter were responsible for the lower than expected figures. Wilson also revealed that more players chose to play FC24 for longer rather than moving across to FC25 when it was released. Probably because they saw some reviews for it, also heard some of the things their friends were saying about the new game, and decided Nah, I think I'll stick with FC24. Because if it's worse than FC24, no way I'm moving forward, and especially at the price points they were selling at. Following FC25's lower sales figures, EA shares declined by over 16%, resulting in a $6 billion loss. $6 billion over probably one game, because it is a massive title for them, right? Soccer, if you don't know, is like the #1 sport worldwide, not just in terms of playing, but also watching and spending on. I remember when I was a kid, like 10% of breakups the month a certain FIFA, I can't remember which iteration it was, were due to the fact that FIFA had came out. That's how obsessed guys used to be about playing this game. But now they're coming in at a $6 billion loss. And you know what? It's a good thing. Because whoever's got the money to lose it, it's EA. But maybe losing this much money will actually tell them they need to do something and produce a better game than what we got with EA FC 2025. Maybe this is finally enough money where they'll get the picture, especially considering the fact that it is one of their branding properties, one of their biggest properties they have. Sports pretty much is EA. Saying they had this massive of a loss on a sports game is like saying Disney had a massive loss at the theme parks. If you know anything about Disney, they rely on the constant cash flow of those theme parks making a profit for them to fund their other projects, to fund their failures like the Marvels. Just like EA relies on all the cash coming in from new iterations of EAFC and their other sports games, by the way, to fund some of their other projects that aren't sports games, like BioWare's new Mass Effect game, which, by the way, that game, even more now, needs to be a massive hit or BioWare is kaput. Though, to be honest, it kind of feels like EA wants to put BioWare out of its misery. By the way, if you don't think, and this is from Extra Points here, that this has anything to do with this headline here, that EA is suddenly bringing back college basketball as a video game to try to make up some of those sports game sales figures, well, it is 100%. But as far as Rematch goes, I know it's kind of different from FIFA in that you're not really playing as established players or established teams or even as a full team. It's a multiplayer game in which you play as just one singular soccer player. But for anybody who's looking to get a general soccer gaming fix and even an online competitive fix within the realms of soccer like that, you now have an alternative with Rematch. And you don't have to go to just something like FIFA or one of the off-brand guys that just aren't quite there yet. And it's good to see that they have had so much success doing this, and hopefully it is the wake-up call that EA needs. But those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go and leave them in the comments. If you like this video, go and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, I appreciate you watching all of it, and talk to you again later.